Hey there, this is Therese Skelly, and I am so excited that you are going to be listening to an episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. Do you like those two words? Fiercely Brilliant. My hypothesis is that you are here for a reason. We all are. Our souls have led us on journeys that have very often taken some twists and turns, and sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes there's struggle and there's loss and there's challenge, and in the middle of that, there's always a way out. And it's those times that often lead us into our great life and work. So you're going to hear stories in these episodes of myself and other beautiful people that share the journey. They share how they got to the place where they're standing, working in their brilliance, and being the powerful leaders that they are. So stay tuned and enjoy this episode. Hey, this is Therese, and this is another episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. And you're going to love my guest today. So I just have so much fun bringing just freaking kick-ass, powerful women to the room. And so today I'm delighted to introduce you to Fabienne Raphael. So Fabienne, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to be here, and I can't wait to have this conversation with you.
Oh, yes. And I just always love accents. So I'm just vibing on the just talk an accent to me, and I'm like, I'll just follow you anywhere. So I appreciate this accent you got going. So why don't you tell us about your business, like what you do right now and what you love about it?
Okay. So what I do is that I'm the creator of the Dream Method. And I'm also a business coach for high achievers. So I help them monetize their knowledge, replace their income, fire their boss, and build a coaching business that they actually love, not another job that they created for themselves. So I love to do what I do because I always say that when you're an online coach, you're like in the business of changing lives. Mm-hmm. And what really like fulfills me and makes me so happy is to witness the path of my clients, from when we get started to when they are thriving in their businesses, because like this is such a life transformation and it makes them, happier living their purpose.
We're so blessed to do this work. Like it's really magical. We're not cutting ham. We're not butchers or, selling shoes. Like we get to do transformational work. It's so magical. So I know a few little details about you. But this show is called Fiercely Brilliant Podcast. And right now it's so clear that you are living your brilliance. Like you rock, like you just radiate it all over. And I know that's what you help your clients get to as well. Tell me the journey, like how in the world did you get here?
Okay, so it's no straight line. Haha, surprise.
Right.
So I was brought up with parents that worked at the same place for many years. So I was really educated towards get a university degree and get that great job and stay there forever until you retire. And then you'll be happy whatsoever. But of course, this is not what happened to me. Right. So I graduated in physical therapy, and then I worked for about 2.5 years. And then I got this opportunity to go play team handball because I used to play team handball in Denmark, in another country. Oh, okay. So I was really excited and I left my job to go there. And I would say that this was my first really experience about, jumping into the unknown. Mm-hmm. And also my first experience realizing about self-growth. Because when I came back home 2 years after, I felt as if I was going 1,000 kilometers an hour and everyone was still at the same place. I felt like everyone was still complaining about the same stuff, like having the same jobs and not being challenged in life. So I would say that was my first, realization of, okay, so there's something that can happen when you decide to embrace something challenging and, go through it. Let's say fast forward a few years, because I was still an employee as a physical therapist. I met my business and life partner, Reggie, and he was already into personal development. And he introduced me into going to conferences and, learning more about other experts and all that stuff. Okay. So I would say about 11 years ago, I decided to resign as an employee and I became a consultant, a physical therapy, but in consultancy. Business. Yeah, my own business. And then that led to create my healthcare agency, because at the time they were lacking a lot of healthcare professionals in hospitals and all that stuff. So I would really have like a few consultants within my business and then place them in organizations.
Wow.
At the same time, I was also very passionate about home staging. I had this thing for decoration. So I got my I got my certification in home staging, and I had a business, a home staging business that led me to have my own TV show. So I met
Oh
this
my
other
gosh.
designer.
I didn't know all this. Oh my gosh.
So I met
Okay.
this other designer, and then she was like, yeah, I've always had a dream of having my own TV show. And I was like, oh, me too. So we co-created this show, and it aired like for 3 years actually in here, right? But a few years after that, I went to a conference, and I learned about the online marketing world, and I was shocked because I didn't know so much about marketing before. And second thing, I was like, oh my God, like this is such a lifestyle that I would love to embrace, right? Because you have the freedom to be home, and you still can have this impact in the world because of, the internet and how easy it is to communicate with everyone. Right. So that's when I decided to push a little bit more into that sense. And then, the first time that I got online, it was through a podcast and interviewing a lot of people. So I was still learning a lot of stuff. And then eventually it became clearer and clearer that I wanted to be an online business coach, and I wanted to help people embrace the gifts that they have and getting paid for it, because the world needs everyone's message. If they have that solution that a lot of people are, they have problems and they're looking to solve that problem. So that's what led me to being an online coach.
Quite the journey. Okay. So what I like to do is like, there's the A to the B, right? So where you started and where you are now. And I like to pull out like nuggets that people can model. Modeling is a huge, huge success principle, right? And so there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. Number one, what I heard is that you kind of left the expected, the get a job, follow the, be an employee. What was it in you that allowed you to like buck the tradition or buck what you were being raised with and say, nope, I gotta do something else? Like what was that made that happen?
I feel that it was the great influence of my life partner, seriously, because he's someone that I totally trust. And he was already seeing something in myself that I couldn't see myself.
Wow. Ooh, I got goosebumps on that one. That's a good one. Okay.
Because like eventually I realized that I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been an outsider or someone that didn't fit the normal kind of like standards, right?
Yeah.
But I realized that like even after a few years I was in business, and even today, like we had, because I'm part of a mastermind, and we had that discussion about being average and being, out of the box and being a high achiever and all that stuff. I was like, wait a minute, like I was never part of the average people. And at a certain point, I thought that it was something wrong, right?
That
so I always wanted
you should have been average? Is that what you mean?
I thought that being a high achiever was something wrong. Because I was not average. I was not part of the groups, right? I was not like always with the majority of people, because I didn't feel like I fit, right? Yeah. So I feel that it was mostly Reggie that was a great influence, but along the way, of course, like with all that self-growth and that coaching and realization, then I was able to embrace that as something very powerful and as an advantage to lead my clients to get to where they want to be, because that's my gift to the world, and that's my life mission. So I need to express that to feel fulfilled.
So how would you, let me just formulate this question. You always knew that you were different.
Yeah,
right?
that's for sure.
And what I heard is like you were a professional athlete. Did you call it professional when you say play team? Because you're from a different country. So team handball, is that like the professional level kind of how do you call that?
I was part of Team Canada. So let's say an elite athlete.
Elite athlete. Okay. Yes. So you're an elite athlete. And that's, there's not a lot of people that can say that, right? That's a small number of people. You're just like, I think I'll just design a business over here. Like you had this so many different ideas. And how did you not succumb to, but wait, I should just do one thing, or wait, I should just, you know what I mean? Like, because I think a lot of people have the glimpse of themselves, like the highest version of themselves. But unfortunately, either their history or their community or their environment keeps them tethered to a lower version of themselves or a lesser version of themselves. So how did you basically go, oh, screw that. Like, I'm going elite. I'm doing whatever the hell I want. Like I want you to really, and I heard it was Reggie, but we're not going to give him all the credit, girl, because you did it. So what was it in you? Like, dissect those steps.
I would say that it was a deep belief that it was possible.
Ooh, okay. I got goosebumps on that one. Very nice.
So when I joined Team Canada for team handball, my coach, actually it took me a year to join the team. So my coach came to me and he said, you should come and come to the training camp for Team Canada because you have that potential and I think you would be a great fit for the team. And when I went to that first practice, I was so shocked and intimidated. I was like, there's no way I can do that. And I left and I was like, this is not for me. And then the year after, it was the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. And I heard Celine Dion sing The Power of the Dream.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, like, what about like, this is a sign, right? I felt as if like, it was my time to do something for myself and something exceptional that of course, like I had done some other things before, but it was like my first very big life challenge to join Team Canada and to compete on an international level. So I decided I called my coach and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm starting in September. And I did start, but then at the same time, I went to I was starting physical therapy in university. So I was a full-time student. So I was 30 hours at school and training about 25 hours a week. So after 3 months, I went to see my coach and I said, I think I'm going to quit. And he said, why? I'm like, I can't do this. And he told me, well, why you can't do this? And I'm like, well, everyone says I'm crazy. People are saying like, I can't do both. And I'm ruining my life and all that stuff. And then my coach said, well, people are always going to criticize whether or not you stay or you quit. It's a matter of, what kind of experience do you want to have in life? And definitely you'll miss out on a lot of things and opportunities if you just decide to withdraw right now, only 3 months after you've gotten started. And that's all it took. I remember I was in his office crying. And he said that, and he said, practice is in 30 minutes. Oh. Okay, I'll be there. And that was it. Like, that was the only time ever I felt like I needed to quit. Yeah. And I also feel that conversation led me to so many great things in life. I mean, because of that experience as an elite athlete, of course, you travel the world. You meet other people from other countries, so you're open-minded about other cultures, going to Denmark, maybe learn to speak Danish and know about this culture way more. And last year, 2 years ago in 2019, I was with the Canadian delegation at the Pan Am Games as an athlete's mentor. And of course, this opportunity would not have been shown to my hands if I was not, a Team Canada athlete, right? So all of these things, they're all related, like things that happen on your path, even at the time if you feel that they are challenging or that you can't do it, or you're like, oh my God, like, what is this? But then eventually when you go over it and you think about it, well, I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that I trusted myself enough to continue that path because it opened me like to so many other great things. And of course, like the entrepreneurial journey is very similar to an athlete's journey because we go through a ton of stuff that is similar. And it definitely helped me as an entrepreneur also.
That's amazing. I love that story because how many of us have that, like, I can't do it. I've got this. And then mostly all the people criticizing, right? Like that's the challenge. When I work with people, I say, your work isn't the strategy. We all know what we got to do. It's the not collapsing. It's the not giving in, the not getting small, not getting stuck, right? And so I love that demonstration that even though you hit that wall, because you could have just not listened. You could have said, no, I'm out. Stop talking. I'm out, And how do you think, because those two stories, Reggie and the coach, you've had some great freaking mentoring. Like you had, and I know you continue, right? But those two men, those are like literally pivots. And I feel like A, that we're blessed with that, but B, we have to be open to that, right? Because a lot of people have the possibility of mentoring or great counsel and wisdom, but they're like, yeah, no, it won't work for me. Or so how what's your story about why you attract these freaking amazing people that support you so much? Like, let's bottle that, sister, and sell it. So
I guess I'm well protected and the universe is checking out on me.
Something. Yeah.
I have great angels.
Yeah.
But seriously, and even like the, not necessarily as good experiences with people that cross my path. Well, they all have like something to make me learn. Right. And I really like today, I really try to take the positive out of any situation. I wouldn't say I was always like that, because there was a time where I really had the victim mentality, like everything was happening to me instead of me owning my own decisions and responsibilities. But I would say that I've always been open to learning. And I guess, my dad used to work as a math teacher, my mom in nursing school. So like both of them are like educators, and they've really instilled that in me, the fact that, other people might know more than you do, and listen. And, like you don't necessarily have to believe everyone, but you don't know what you might learn from someone else. Yeah.
So have you had any places in your business, any of the businesses, that you hit some walls? Like what, if you look back on the years doing this, were there themes or challenges that you encountered, and then how you got over them?
So I would say that because I had many talents and because I always wanted to pursue many things at the same time, at a certain point, it was kind of like a curse, because I would start off something, I would not necessarily finish it or put all my energy into it, and then got distracted by starting something else and just left that behind, right? And how I got out of it, it was with a very serious conversation I had with my life partner, because like nothing was really building up to, achieving something, right? It was always like starting and then, exciting and all that stuff. And then boom, it was just, it was dying. So, so basically it was actually a self-esteem issue that I had. And I had to actually work with a very awesome life coach. And I remember sitting at her office, and she was asking questions because she wanted me to say like what she wanted to bring like what my subconscious was saying in my head to the conscious mind. And then she asked that question. She asked one question, and I replied, "I am nothing."
Oh my God.
And then I started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, how ridiculous is that?
What the hell? And that's not even yours, right? Who said that, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing for about a minute. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. So that was the inner...
That was driving it.
Yeah, right. It was driving it. So basically, like, why would I put so many efforts into doing something if I knew that it was going to fail, or if I knew it was not even worth it, or I wasn't worth it to be doing it, right? So I would say that not everything changed like the day after, but at least I was aware of that. And then I was given some tools to, being able to embrace that and actually, realize that I also had my place in this world, right? Because when I said that, my coach told me, do you realize that it's as if like you consider like all the rest of the world or all other people being worth more than yourself because you don't even exist. It's as if like you don't even exist. Right. So I had to actually take that person that was not existing to bring that person to the world. Yep. And then embrace that person's talent and personality and all of that and start sharing that. Right. So so yeah, I'm grateful that I met that person because that was actually life changing, and not only for my business, but for all my relationships.
Of course, absolutely. That's an example, Fabienne, of, I do a lot of work with the unconscious, the mind and all that sort of stuff. And you had an unconscious belief that you were nothing in spite of like all these accomplishments. And so the overcompensating or the overdoing, or I'll start this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, trying to prove or trying to earn the worthiness. And I love that you just were like, yeah, that's crazy. A lot of people can't shift it that quickly, but it shows you the power of an unconscious belief, how it can really like derail you. So
yeah, absolutely.
This just goes like, there's one more, like, we've been in this industry long enough. Everybody says you have to pick a niche, choose one, right? Choose one thing. I just get all like, that makes me gag a little bit in my mouth. But the problem is we're multi-passionate, multi-talented, we're creatives. And so how do you differentiate between what you just talked about? Like the purpose of my doing all these things was kind of actually to hide out and prove myself, versus like if a client came to you, if you were the client with you today as coach, who has all these passions and these talents and these things she loves to do, what would you say?
I would say that it's possible to pick one path, but then not necessarily ignore all these parts of yourself.
Good.
Because what I do today as an online business coach is actually I help people monetize their expertise, but it doesn't take away all the part of the elite athlete, world, or those parts that I was a home staging business owner, or, having my healthcare agency, because everything that I learned as a physical therapist, as a sports elite athlete, as a home stager, I could still bring that into my business today, right? Either in the framework that I'm working in, or, the fact that how I can understand people when they talk to me with my healthcare experience. I could still use all my gifts in my business, but it's just like, sometimes people feel that because you pick one path to go, that you have to ignore everything else. Shut it down. But there's a way to express. You could still express who you are through what you choose to do as a business, for sure.
Good. Yeah, I think people get really, really so, you have to pick this. This is the path. And I know that the creatives and the multi-passionate people are like, but, so I wanted to speak into that, because I don't want people to feel like, well, how did you go here to there and there, and what happened to those parts? So I love that you spoke about that as well. Okay, we're coming to the end, and this has been so fun. I just am really enjoying your energy and your wisdom. I want you to drop in for a second and just see if there's any other little bit of wisdom that wants to emerge from you. Anything else that you're just like, oh, they need to hear this today.
Yeah, I feel that what people need to hear is that, they all have something to share. And all of us, we've been brought up on this earth with something unique about ourselves. And sometimes it takes courage to actually embrace that and have the opportunity to share it with others. But also, like, if we think about all the people that could benefit from your gifts, and if you keep it for yourself, it's like you dim your light, but then you won't be able to influence these people. When you dare to speak up, or when you dare to express who you truly are, you are already inspiring others that, are maybe a little bit shyer than you, or, that need more courage than you. So my message would be like, I'm sure that there's something unique about you, and just make sure that you share that with the world, because, or else like it's just a total loss.
Really well said. I think of what's the title of this episode? Because we got to make a title at some point. And you are such a beautiful, I think it's going to be called Anything is Possible, right? Like,
oh, I love that.
I feel like you're such a beautiful demonstration, saying yes when seemingly it was crazy. You had to go against the family and go against, like, really, you're leaving to be an athlete? Like and then you're going to, like, there was multiple places, love, where you could have chosen ordinary, where you could have just chosen, well, it's easy and I'm here. And I just love that you were so open, and you have those freaking amazing, beautiful mentors that just saw you and you said yes to that. And so, like, I just want to celebrate that. because you are a way shower. And so if you're watching this and listening to this, it's possible for you too, right? And so just tap in, like Fabienne said, I knew there was something. I knew I was not ordinary. I knew there was something else for me. And you don't have to know the how, right? Or exactly what, but you said yes. That's the step that it's just got to get into. All right. Woof. All right. I'm imagining folks are going to be going, how the heck can I find and follow this woman? So how do they find you? And I don't know if you have a free gift or if you want to share anything with them, but
yes. So they just have to go at FabienneRaphael.com and they'll get like their free gift there for sure.
Fabulous. And that link will be in the show notes. And so, love, you are just a delight. I'm happy to get to know you and interview you today. And I know our paths will continue to cross. So if you've enjoyed this episode, I want you to leave a review on YouTube, because that means more people get to listen, right? If we get good reviews, more people get to listen. And Fabienne, have a beautiful day. And folks watching and listening, peace and blessings.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day too.
Bye now. Hey, this is Therese, and I'm so excited that you were with us today for another episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. If you are inspired to get to that brilliant place, if you heard some wisdom today that made you think, yeah, I need some help in that area, I would encourage you to have a conversation with me. Super simple. You just go to thereseskelly.com/let's connect. It's a no charge, no pressure conversation. And if I can support you to clear the blocks, to really step into that brilliance, oh my gosh, it would be a delight. And I'll be honest with you, we'll just have a great conversation and see where we can take it. Peace and blessings. Bye.